Wrap up the first of 2 days they're spending at the Moscow home where 4 University of Idaho students were killed nearly a year ago. They're on site today and tomorrow to collect visual and audio data that'll help construct a model of the home. KREM 2's chief journalist Amanda Rowley joining us now live from Moscow tonight, where the FBI has just left for the evening.
Well, since the trial for the Moscow murder suspect has been delayed indefinitely, the FBI is taking advantage of this extended time to gather measurements of their own of the home to construct a model. Now, throughout the day, we saw crews gathering images coming in and out of the home and even bringing out what's left over as far as personal belongings and moving them outside. The home where Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonsalves were killed 1 year ago still stands. Today, the plywood securing the windows and door of the house has been removed, and a specialized team with the FBI are on site collecting measurements and images. They launched a drone over the house this morning and appear to be collecting images using 3D scanning technology. This will all be used to construct a model of the home. We won't learn much more about what the FBI is doing because it's still an ongoing investigation. So I asked Idaho's former state attorney general and county prosecutor, David Leroy, what he makes of this collection of evidence.
In this instance, it appears that the prosecutor is going to put some significant emphasis by virtue of a model and videos in terms of helping the jury understand how an alleged perpetrator might have moved through the house to get in, to go to whatever is alleged to be the first crime scene, to pass then to the second crime scene.
We noticed investigators are using Faro 3D laser scanners. The company's website says this technology can be used by law enforcement and prosecutors to reconstruct a crime scene and present it in the courtroom.
This is the diagram of today's courtroom. Everything you see here is measurable.
A demonstration video from Faro's website shows a few different ways to present the images, including a flyover view or virtual view of the scene.
But most importantly, you can create a specific viewpoint. What did that first responder see? What did that witness see? Or what could the witness maybe not see from that perspective?
It's not clear what version will be used in this case, but Faro's demonstration does give some insight into the possibilities. Now, in the meantime, the house will be re-secured once the FBI is done here as early as tomorrow. Now, the university says it still intends to demolish the home, but it does not plan to do that this semester.
FBI is in Moscow, Idaho today, back of the home where 4 University of Idaho students were murdered nearly a year ago. They'll be there through at least tomorrow, collecting measurements of the home to construct a 3D model. Idaho's former state attorney general believes it will be used for trial. The FBI can't say for sure because it's an ongoing investigation. The suspect in the case, Brian Koberger, does not have a new trial date set yet, so investigators are using this additional time to build the models. The university, who now owns the house, originally planned to demolish it this semester, but they're holding off on that for now.
So the FBI is using a 3D scanning evidence. Basically, they are recording and they're taking pictures of the model of the house so that they can present it to the court. They're doing the Faro 3D digital model, and that is the reason the FBI does not have the forensic team clothes on. They've taken all the evidence they needed from the beginning. Although I personally believe a lot of evidence was destroyed or tampered with in the beginning when Chief Fry came with the U-Haul and he was driving to collect the personal items of the students. That is the time they should have had the forensic clothes on. But I don't see any issue with them not wearing forensic outfits because the creator was talking about that, but believe me, The FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, knows exactly what they're doing. That is their department, and they know if they have to wear the forensic kit or not. And I don't think they needed the forensic kit because they came for the 3D Faro model. This is when Chief Fry came with the U-Haul. I believe this is the time they should have had the forensic kit on, not when the FBI came a year later. I've heard experts in this department saying that that was a big mistake. The police and Chief Fry shouldn't have taken out the personal items and returned it back to the family because it could have had valuable DNA evidence on it. I don't think anything was put through or put under a microscope. They just handed it over to the family. And those are evidence that later on will come into dispute. Those are evidence that have already been given to the family. That is evidence. I wonder if the Sigma Chi has been investigated about what happened to Ethan and Zano. Did they walk home? Did they drive home possibly? Is that why Ethan is Jeep? Is that why Ethan is Jeep and his other vehicle is frozen for evidence? All these people lived close by. Jack D lived straight down from the Sigma Chi at that corner. Jack John Showalter lived at Queens Road. Enan lived at Queens Road. We saw the figures running down those steps. I personally believe something happened at Taylor Avenue. I've always thought of that. Please leave it in your comments what you think. It's either called Taylor Avenue or Taylor Road, but there was a lot of things going around in those areas. The Sigma Chi said they don't have cameras. That's what the president said, and that's concerning. So they wouldn't know if anyone left or anyone came back. They wouldn't even say that if anyone left or anyone came back. Those are the fraternity brothers. They have a code. They have secret codes, so they're not going to snitch on each other. If Maddie's jacket was in those bushes, was she dragged down? Could she possibly have been dragged somewhere? Maybe the undercover cops did not notice. All the action was happening in the parking place and in those apartments. I believe that's where the female voice was coming from. Stop it, stop. I believe we are looking at the wrong direction. Linda Lane was later on or earlier on with Ethan and Zana, but I believe Maddie and Kaylee was a different target, separate incidents, and it happened in Taylor Avenue. That's just my thoughts. Everything was happening around these areas, from the Sigma Chi fraternity to the girls' house. You have Enan's house behind in Queens Road. If he's involved allegedly, he's the one who said that people in Idaho, Moscow leave their doors and the windows unlocked. That's strange. He spoke about a hitchhiker telling him not to unalive him, not to stab him actually. That's what he said in his own interviews with Mindshock and with Lauren. Something was happening in that car park, I believe. That's why those three boys were looking behind at the bushes. They got caught off guard. All seem to have this furry animal. That was their drinking buddy, I think. What was Saeed watching? What pictures was he watching? It was concerning. He was watching the crime scene pictures, and he's from the Sigma Chi fraternity too. I believe something was happening where that white car is and behind all those areas, in the car park and those areas. Those were where the figures were running from. We can see that light of the car over there, and that was 3:01 a.m. That was the same time, actually think of it, that was the same time DM's black truck was driving through Taylor Lane. Could that have been DM's black truck, allegedly? How many large knives was there in the residence? Could the knife sheath that had BK's touch evidence have belonged to one of the victims or the surviving roommates? And could Brian's touch DNA have gone there by mistake? Or, I don't mean by mistake, maybe he knows one of the surviving roommates. He could have touched one of the surviving roommates and they could have gone and touched the knife sheath. But isn't it concerning? This is the third large knife I've seen Dylan with. And I've seen BF with the knife too. This is the black truck I'm talking about. Dylan has the keys in hand, I think. I heard it's a stepmother's truck. It's a big truck. Although it's blurry, you see the black truck driving there. That was at the same time of the body cam in Banfield. It was 3:01. Pay attention to the truck. So look where the arrow is. There's that light. There's that car light near the girl's house. And Dylan drove at 3:01 the big black truck. So was it Dylan driving from there? Let's not forget, in the beginning we were told that the murders happened between 3 to 4 a.m. There's a reason I'm still going back to the previous timeline, because that is the one that makes sense. I believe everything has been changed for whatever reason after that. But I really believe something was going on in Taylor Avenue and Taylor Lane. That is where the 5 figures or 4 figures were running from. They ran in front of this house and directly to the Sigma Chi. I believe that there was someone sitting in these cars, one of these cars. Or maybe it wasn't any of these cars, but their cars were parked around here. There was something going on in this parking place in Taylor Avenue. These are the figures running. These are the real suspects. Look at them. When I count, it's always 4. Sometimes it looks like it's 5. It looks like there's a female or someone with long hair there. Look, it's 3, 4. It's actually 4. It looks like it's 5 because one goes back and comes again. It's like they're pushing each other. Doesn't this remind you of the 4chan? This is exactly what they said they would do.